So the joke is, I'm half Indian, half Filipino, which makes me Nepali. And at least you know why I dress like a Filipino but
Yes.
smell like an Indian.
Oh, shit.
When I first heard it, it's like, what the? Yo! Hello, Mamsir! Welcome to another episode of the Hellomamsir Show! My God! Hello! Ano naman tayo? Hello! Nag-video recording na ulit tayo. And we have a new angle.
Walang magawa.
Angle lang. Angle.
Walang magawa eh.
Yes.
Kala ko bagong Bili.
Hindi.
Bagong studio.
Grabe naman. Ito na yung ano natin, mga, para lang iba yung itsura ng ano natin, ng angles natin. Saka nagkakaharapan na tayo, ha?
Hindi, mas nakaka-enjoy tong ganitong idea,
Yun nga eh.
pwesto. Kasi nakikita yung nag-uusap.
Yun
Tama.
nga eh.
Yung reaction.
Parang malalaman mo kung sincere ba yung tao.
Oo.
Or pakitang tao lang pala.
Oo,
Para malaman namin Epi kung sincere.
So for today's episode, we have a guest.
Yep.
We have a new guest.
Oo nga.
Yes,
We have
from
guests.
Yes. Have a nice day podcast.
Collaboration?
Yeah, collaboration. By the way, ako nga pala si Tito Epi.
Ito dahil na siya.
Tito Luis.
Tita Jaja.
Tita Tin.
And yes, yun naman si Tita Jaja.
Yep.
Yes.
They have a new show called
Have a nice day podcast.
Yes, OMG. Grabe.
Wait, hindi pa na-introduce si, of course.
And her co-host,
Yes.
Yep.
And
Joshua.
Yeah, the second half of the half.
Yep.
Yes, OMG.
thank you for clarifying na second half.
Yeah, we always had a debate, right? Who's gonna be the first half and the second half, and
Yes.
we concluded that I'm the second half
Thank you.
because women are always
Good.
first, apparently.
Congratulations.
Congratulations on the show, by the way.
Salamat.
Ilang episodes na kayo?
Third is coming out on Sunday. So,
Yeah,
two episodes
yeah.
are out na.
Episodes out.
Wow, so listen to the Have a Nice Day podcast, no? So
Yes.
Thank you.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify.
Yes.
Wherever you listen to your podcast.
Yun, grabe. Grabe.
Parang DJ lang.
Yeah, DJ Joshua in the house.
Yeah.
So, by the way, tong episode, since Joshua is here, we're going to do the cultural exchange episode again.
Wow.
Yes.
And it's going to be in English.
In English?
Wow.
English.
Oh man.
So, we're going to talk in English. Like Taglish. Kasi si Joshua is...
Half Indian and half Filipino.
Yo! Yan.
Nice.
So, yeah. Talk about India and
Interesting
India-Philippines relationship.
Yeah.
What's all about. So, yeah.
And this personal experience
Yes,
growing up as,
exactly.
Okay.
half Filipino, half Indian.
Yeah.
Okay.
So introduce yourself, Joshua. What do you do in the UAE and how long have you been here?
Yeah.
And
Okay,
So
so
on and
it's not a very complicated story. I was born and raised here in Dubai. Dubai Hospital, shout out to them. 29 years in
Papakuna
the
naman
desert.
dyan.
But 29 years here in the desert. My parents met here as well. And I spent my whole life in the UAE. So it was from kindergarten all the way to like my college.
Yep.
So everything. I never left Dubai. So Dubai is all I know. And I'm really scared if I ever do leave Dubai, what will happen to me. Because everyone considers me very soft as a person.
Very soft?
Yeah, like come on,
yeah.
when you're sheltered here in the UAE and then you go to India or Philippines or a different country, then you
Oh, it's very different.
Oh,
in
it's culture shock
India
for
and
me.
Philippines.
When you said you were very soft, in my head, it's like, when can I hug this guy? Gotta do
Me
it.
too. I was like thinking like the same thing, dude.
I didn't hear what you said after the song.
I'm a bear.
So what do you do, Joshua?
I work in logistics
Okay.
for a shipping company here in the UAE for over 7 years now. So yeah, it's like shipping is all I know, I guess.
Very interesting. Huh?
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot
It's
of
not.
quote unquote a lot of fun. And you are a stand-up comic. So
Yeah, I do. I do travel in stand-up comedy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where we met him.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
basically.
that's the place where we first met.
Where we all first met him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
All of us. Yeah, you all came to a show at Comedy Kicks.
Yeah, shout out to
Yes.
Comedy Kicks and Tita Ima.
Tita Ima.
Yeah, there's I think there's going to be a show, right?
Yeah. So the
are
first show.
are you
is-
included there or
I'm not on the first show, but I'm there on the second show. So
okay.
on the 11th, if I'm not mistaken. So catch me there. at
Oh,
Comedy
okay.
Kicks.
We'll be there. We'll be
Plug,
there.
plug.
All right.
there.
Yeah, man. Like definitely.
But yeah, stand-up comedy is something I really am passionate about. Because growing up, in Dubai, I never had a creative side. So I always thought, okay, all my friends have done something really creative. Like they're all into like maybe interior design or something. And I have a very standard desk job.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what ability do I have or what are my strengths that I can work on to maybe have a hobby outside work? Because I was a workaholic and I was like, okay, what can I try? Then I realized that there's something called stand-up comedy. I was very late to the game, I must say. But I did start stand-up comedy to impress a girl.
Oh,
Do we know that girl?
It's a very sad story, but it's,
Oh, we don't know that girl.
Oh my god.
Maybe let's not talk about that.
Do you want to shout out? Okay.
all ties with her.
I know the name. Can I shout her out?
But did it work? Did it work?
It did not.
That's
okay.
the
It's a sad
comedy
story.
side to it, guys.
So I'll tell you what happened. You guys might feel very bad for me. I still feel bad for this,
All
but
right.
yeah,
It's alright, man. No one
Yeah.
listens to the show anyway.
Yeah, it's just us.
And probably your mom.
that's all we were. But it is a very sad story. So I did stand-up comedy to impress her. I made like the first part of my act is not naming her, but I changed her name. I tweaked it.
Yeah.
And I did it. So I said a joke like, please take me back at the end of it. But the way I delivered it was like, please take me back.
Okay.
Oh.
So it was like so intense and everyone was like, is he going to pull out a wedding ring?
Oh my god.
On stage. And this is in front of like 300 people.
Okay.
Oh
This
shit.
is my first show ever.
Was this in the UAE or?
Yeah, this was in the UAE in a warehouse. It's called Warehouse 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it
Is this it?
that what? That was in the.
Al Quoz?
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Quoz.
Okay,
It was an
yeah,
Al Quoz
yeah.
show. It was a Dubomedy graduation show. She was there in the show and I did my joke. No one laughed. And it's just me standing in front of 300 people and I'm like, okay. In the night, I get home and there's a text and she says, that was the sweetest thing anyone has ever
Aw.
done for me.
Wow.
But I did not feel anything.
It hurts.
It hurts and I couldn't sleep that night. And I wet the bed, but not from tears though.
Okay.
All right.
Let's clarify that. Okay, let's clarify. It's
Yeah.
from the tears. That was from P.
No.
Sorry.
I can control my bowels, so it's okay.
But I guess the good thing to it is that you still continued.
I still continued.
Yeah.
I did not after, like, I stopped it for a few months and then I did a show after that, which was only gave me 2 minutes of stage time.
Oh,
2
okay.
minutes.
Like you bombed so
Yeah.
much that we're only gonna give you 2 minutes
So
this time.
that was my entry back into stand-up comedy because after that I was like, okay, maybe this is not for me. But I did a 2-minute show. It went relatively okay, so that's what brought my confidence back up, and then
To impress another girl.
no. How many girls do you know?
But how did it feel on the beginning? Like no one laughed what you said.
Okay, so I was very mayabang.
Yeah.
So I was watching stand-up comedy a lot. I'm like, I'm funnier than half of these guys.
Okay.
So I enrolled myself into a comedy school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all my jokes are really funny. I'm going to do so well.
Yeah.
And when I actually did it on stage, like, I was so nervous. My nervousness took the best of me.
Yeah.
And I was frozen on stage. And all I could keep saying, I'm not kidding, is my name. So I would say, hi, my name is Joshua. Then I would do like a 1 minute, like a 10-second joke. And then I would forget. And I'm like, my name is Joshua.
Yeah.
So like everyone knew I was bombing, and I just reminded everyone my name. So it was like that.
Yeah.
Did I forget my name's Joshua?
I mentioned it by the way that my name is Joshua.
But how did it go for you? Like after that?
It actually crushed me because I first of all I did stand-up comedy to impress a girl, and that girl didn't show any feelings back.
Mhm.
Yeah, so by the way, you wanted to impress the girl because that girl is a fan of
stand-up comedy. She's a fan of stand-up comedy. And I always considered myself funny, but there's a difference between being funny on stage and being funny in person. So, but it did crush me because that was like all my ambitions were thrown out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was like that. No one laughed, and I invited like 30 people to watch me. I was very mayabang.
Yeah.
So all my colleagues and friends were all there, and there is a video, and I never watched that video
Up now.
up to now.
Okay, show us later.
Can we watch?
Where's it in YouTube?
What YouTube channel?
It's on my phone. It's there. I always watch 10 seconds and I stop it. I'm like, no.
Oh my god.
That's how bad I felt about.
You know
my
what?
first
Actually, let's go to the VTR.
Cut and then the video.
We have it.
Hack into my phone.
We're not that resourceful, sorry.
Let's go back to the cultural exchange part of it.
Yeah.
So how does it growing up being half Filipino and half Indian? Can you tell more about it? Like for example, when you were starting up in school,
Yeah.
or when you first realized that you're half Indian, half Filipino.
Or like a certain memory that
Yeah.
you're like different. You're not like full Indian. You're not full Filipino, and then
Okay. So growing up, I always did relate and identify more as a Filipino.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's
I'm-
interesting.
It is actually, but it was mostly because I had a very bad, not very bad, but I felt that Indians were not like as good as
Accepting?
Filipinos. Yeah. No, not accepting, but
What do you mean?
I felt that Indians were.
Oh, you're downgrading them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my mind,
In your
mentally, I
mind,
was
yeah.
doing it to myself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I grew up around Filipinos. Most people in my like a lot of my friends growing up were Filipino, so I identified more as a Filipino, and honestly just neglected my Indian side.
Oh wow.
So like for me, I can speak Tagalog
Yeah.
fluently. Okay, not fluently, but
Debatable.
I can get by with my Tagalog, but I never did learn Hindi. I was never like in our household. It was more of like an American style setting. So we would just speak English at home. My dad would never converse with us in Hindi or
Oh okay.
Konkani, which is his dialect. But I always identified more as a Filipino, and I was drawn more to the Filipino culture, and I really enjoyed it as well.
And Konkani is which part of
So it's from Goa.
Goa?
I'm from Goa.
All right.
So India is comprised of 29
Chill.
states.
Yeah, yeah.
The smallest is Goa, and my
It's
dad
the
is from,
smallest. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
it is the smallest.
the chillest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the chillest.
The
It's
chillest.
considered a
That's what
party.
I've heard. Goa is the chillest.
All
Yeah,
the
it is the
Goans
smallest
I've
and
met
chillest.
are
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really chill. Yeah. You just
They're
notice them
totally
if they're wearing
different,
like a floral shirt. That's how
Exactly,
you know they're Indian.
dude. Exactly.
Hawaii of
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is the Hawaii of India.
Or the Boracay of
Oh yeah, Boracay. Yes.
Interesting.
I always tell Joshua it would have been awesome if he knew how to speak both Tagalog and
Yeah.
Hindi, especially in Dubai,
Yeah.
where majority of the expats are Indians and,
And Filipinos, yeah.
And then he can speak English as well. That's like the perfect like
Yeah.
trifecta
Yeah,
in
that's-
Dubai.
that is
yeah.
true.
It's a superpower.
Yeah, it is
And-
a
It is,
superpower.
yeah.
And you never learned, or you never had a chance?
There was chances because I studied here in the UAE, and we had a mandatory language class. So there was Hindi, French, and Arabic, and I was always drawn to French for some reason. But ask me any French word, I wouldn't know what I'm saying.
Croissant.
Bonjour. That's all.
That's it.
Tita Tien knows a lot of French, I would say.
Oui. Walang yun, no? My God.
And how did you from like in the family, right? Because you said you were more inclined, you were more close to the Filipino part, and your father never really had forced you to learn more about the other side of your
Yeah, so
nationality?
that's a funny thing. My dad never imposed on us anything
Didn't,
much about the Indian culture. Because both my parents were Catholic growing up.
Okay.
So we never had that Hindu or in like an Indian tradition with like a very fancy wedding or arranged marriages or anything like that. So it was like very it was very easy to grow up in our household because we just like could just relate to everyone without really having the Indian side like dominant in us.
Yeah. So how Indian are you? Like right now?
Right now, maybe like 15%, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But you do understand a little bit of Hindi.
So I
would
I
assume.
feel I understand what people are saying.
You
Especially
feel
I feel I'm always wrong.
Context clues as well.
like the force.
Force is strong in this.
I can smell the biryani and
That butter chicken.
And the
I know
butter
where you
chicken.
are.
He's not even good with his spicy
chicken.
level, guys.
No way.
No.
No way.
I'm even.
Really?
I would say I'm better than you in terms of.
Better, maybe we are in par, but I wouldn't say better. So that's the thing. Growing up, I was a big fan of spicy food.
Okay.
But suddenly, throughout the years, I'm not able to tolerate it as much as I did back then. Which is very weird because my sister and my brother like full on like they can eat anything spicy. But for me, I'm just like, can I have it mild?
Yeah.
So it's like that. So
So
I
non-Indian
I
of
think
you.
my body's also telling me in a way you are not Indian.
You are
Might look
Filipino.
like an Indian, but you are not Indian.
So you're more of a chicken adobo rather than
Yeah,
chicken curry.
Yeah. So butter chicken, I'm a chicken adobo.
Your body's like, we give up. Fuck this guy. You're not gonna get spicy.
It's funny because out of his siblings, he's the one who looks most Indian.
Indian.
Yeah. So his ate and his younger brother both look more Filipino to me, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me they look Hispanic for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
Okay.
everyone does assume I'm an Indian at first.
Yeah.
And it's so there was one time when I was growing up, I went to a friend's house and they have a dog. And the dog started barking at me like nonstop. And then the mother, she's an Indian, she's like, "Don't worry, she barks all the time at Filipinos." I'm like, "Whoa."
No.
I'm like, "How did you know I'm Filipino?" So that was like one time when someone actually knew I was Filipino.
And it was a dog.
What's the logic? Why do they hate
Yeah.
Filipinos? Like, no, the person who comes to wash the dog and give the dog a bath is a Filipino.
Oh, wow.
The dog could somehow sense it, which I was like,
How?
She smelled the adobo off of you.
That's a tawas.
Oh my gosh.
Ito yun.
Your friend's mom probably is like, is this guy? And then here's the bark. Filipino.
Confirmed.
You actually have a joke about being half Filipino. The joke about you look Indian but you wear something.
Yeah. So the joke is, I'm half Indian, half Filipino, which makes me Nepali. And at least you know why I dress like a Filipino but
Yes.
smell like an Indian.
Oh shit.
When I first heard it, it's like, what the? It's so
offended
funny.
two
It's
nationalities
so funny. It's so funny.
You can pull it off, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing. I'm allowed to say it because I'm
Yeah.
half.
Exactly.
But like if a Filipino makes fun of an Indian or an Indian makes fun of a Filipino, that might be crossing the line to some extent. But you just have to have an open mind when it comes
Yeah.
to comedy. You cannot go to a comedy show and feel bad or feel offended at what someone said. Because comedy is mostly playing on stereotypes as well.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Chinese cannot drive or
Yeah.
that-
women are bad drivers. But obviously, just for the internet people.
What's your Instagram handle? You can comment.
Cancel.
Stop him.
Josh and
I'll get kidnapped tomorrow.
You know what? I'm gonna drive home. And let's see who's the better driver.
So at home with your siblings, as you mentioned, so all of them also doesn't speak Hindi.
Yeah, none of us speak Hindi.
None.
None of us.
I mean, that
Not-
that makes sense because his father's from Goa, the chillest part.
Yeah.
No,
Do what you want.
yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah, none of us speak Hindi.
No pressure.
And there was no talk like, oh, we should have taught you some kind of Hindi or anything when you grow up, when you already grow up.
No, there was no talk of
No,
that actually.
really?
Yeah, and it's also maybe because we have a Philippine passport as well.
So
Yeah.
you have two passports.
Dual
No.
citizen.
So whenever you go to India, you need to apply for a visa.
Exactly.
Oh,
So I was supposed to go for a wedding for a friend, and my passport was expiring, and I'm like, okay, that might be a problem because I had to apply for visa,
Yeah.
and the visa process is 6 months. Your visa,
What?
your visa, yeah, the passport has to be
Minimum
valid for 6
Okay.
months.
Right.
And I had to apply for visa, and I couldn't get it. And it's like my own country, like where my dad comes from. My dad was there with me in the Indian consulate, and we still couldn't
Oh,
get
Yeah.
anything done.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're Filipino.
Yeah. On paper, I'm Filipino.
So
Yeah.
when you went back to, have you been to Goa?
I've been to Goa, but the last time was 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, very long.
But when
time
you
ago.
went back to Goa, does people realize that you are Filipino, or like do they notice a physical
No, they do not. They all assume I'm Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we're not really that. I mean, there are Filipinos as well that look like Indian, but,
Yeah.
but probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we have
subtle
that, like,
differences.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like they're like we are much hairier than Filipinos, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And but going back to the question, like they wouldn't be able to notice that I'm actually half Filipino.
Yeah.
So like there was a time when I was in India with my dad and we were in Bombay because my dad grew up in Bombay and we were on the train and my dad and I are speaking in English.
Yep.
And there was this guy who comes out of nowhere and starts yelling at me at my face. He's like a very old man.
Okay.
And he's yelling at me. I don't know what's happening because he's yelling in Hindi and my dad is just like standing there because he doesn't want to like interfere or not,
Okay.
not interfere or protect me, but like he doesn't want to start a commotion
Yeah.
in the train. And he was just yelling at me and then he gets off at the next stop and I asked my dad what's all that about, and they're like, no, he said he came up to us and he said the British left India so many years ago.
Whoa.
So you should stop.
And why are you speaking English till now?
Yeah, that's
So I
the
think it's-
language of the oppressor. Do not use that here.
So that was a very weird thing for me because I was a kid and then I was just like, oh wow,
Wow.
like people are still torn about that.
So while that was happening, you
But that's
didn't understand a thing
I didn't
he
understand
said.
the thing,
Okay.
But maybe it was like something, I don't know,
Yeah.
you took my seat or something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry naman.
Sorry naman. Grabe. But that's interesting. No, like
But it's also reverse in the Philippines. When somebody hears you speak straight English,
Yeah.
immediately people would think, they're educated or
Yeah.
they're cool
Conyo
or
or
something.
something.
Mayaman.
Mayaman, like that.
from assumption.
Yeah.
True.
Especially when you speak English with an accent,
Accent.
with an American accent. Yeah.
Yeah. When you use every time, like
Or you know.
you know,
Like,
basically,
Si Dayan ganun, si Da.
ako yun eh. Ay, pala. Minsan.
Tayo pala yun, aray.
tayo yan.
how do you? So growing up, since you're both sides, this is usually an interesting question. Like, do you take vacations? Like, do you take trips to the Philippines and India? And like, how often do you go? Usually, which do you prefer? Like when you were growing up, you were a kid.
So growing up, we did go to both countries, but not in the same year. So like 1 year would be Philippines, 1 year would be India, and but I've noticed like our India vacations were like maybe for like a week or 2 weeks, but our Philippines vacations were like up to 2 or 3 months.
really?
So it was like that, yeah. Because my mom has a house, we have a big family over there. My dad's family has actually moved from India, so we don't have a lot of family there except my grandma.
I
But my
see.
grandma doesn't even live in India anymore. So and it's like growing up, I actually did feel more as well I was more excited when I knew I was going to Philippines.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
spend more time there.
Yeah, exactly.
But do people like your playmates when you were growing up in the Philippines? Do they notice that you are like Indian, half Indian, or
yeah, they noticed.
They
Do you get
say-
teased? Do you get
teased by your
by
playmates,
cousins or
something?
like playmates?
No, not really.
Oy, Bombay.
Yeah, of course,
Something
everyone
like
knows
that,
that.
yeah.
No, not really, because there are a lot of Indians actually now in the Philippines
Yes,
as well.
That's true.
definitely.
And they're all like loan sharks. Yeah, like they're all in that business or textiles and
5'6".
Yeah.
5'6".
5'6".
Oh yeah, you told me
Yeah.
about
Yeah, I know
that.
that.
5'6", yeah.
Yeah. So you don't know anything about the 5'6" thingy.
I don't know in detail, but I know they lend money and then
Yeah.
they expect more back.
Yeah, that's
Five,
the
yeah, 5'6",
With an
so
interest.
you loan 5 and then you have to return 6.
6.
Yeah.
20%.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay,
the term about.
okay.
That's
I would
the
say-
term behind it.
I would say illegal because
It is illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah.
illegal because the legal is I don't know what maximum 15%.
I have no
something like
idea.
that.
No idea.
Yeah.
Interest.
Okay.
So
And you don't
something
have to go through a bank maybe for that, so it's much
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
convenient for people if they need money at that.
Yeah.
given
So you
moment.
never got the term Bombay? Like no one called you, ay Bombay ka.
Bombay.
Yeah.
No?
You know what? I'm not gonna brag, but every time I'm there, like, "Hoy, Americano, Americano."
Maybe because of your
Yeah.
accent,
Yeah, I
I
think
think, or
it's
the
the
English.
But
thing.
but you know they never spoke. Like whenever I used to order or go into a restaurant or like any services I need, they would all talk to me in Tagalog.
Oh.
Okay.
So they all automatically assumed, and then I could reply back in Tagalog, obviously,
okay.
and they wouldn't be shocked Like, ay, Filipino ka pala. No, none of that. Like, they were just like, they would assume.
Like it's obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious in some way to them. I don't know how they see it because I don't see it myself.
But ganon, ang unfair. I get Bombay a lot when I was in the Philippines. A lot.
Okay, wait. But
Yeah.
where in the Philippines is your mom from? And
So
where
she's
did-
from Meycauayan and Bulacan.
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 Okay.
Bulacan, yes.
Ah, malapit sa amin.
Bulacan.
Ah.
Oh, yeah?
From Bulacan.
From Pandi.
Pandi.
Santa Maria, malapit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
Yeah, malapit.
It's not too. Yeah, it's not too different. Like
Yeah.
Olongapo is also
Yeah.
a little bit north, but it's
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's
north.
like
That
2
is so
hours
weird.
away from 2-3 hours away from Bulacan.
Yeah.
Max. But I always get Bombay.
That is so weird.
Always. Like, ay Bombay ka. If not Bombay, ay kana. So
Kana.
those
Yeah,
two.
Americana.
Yeah. Americana. Because Subic is there's a port there and
The Navy
all of
base,
the
right?
Navy.
Yeah, the
exactly.
base.
All of the
Yeah,
Navy base. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was in Subic, I remember that. Oh, that's where the Navy base is. That's where that water park is.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a tax-free shop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it's famous for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tax-free shop.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Exactly.
The tax-free
that's a
shop.
good
Yeah,
tourist
dude, like
site.
when we were kids, we go to trips to Subic.
Yes.
We stay like 3 nights just to go around. It's a different
Yeah.
zone there. Like,
Especially if you're from Manila, because that's only 3 hours away.
yeah.
4 hours away. So it's one of the closest places that you can go for water parks. And then you go to Zambales where there's more beaches and all that.
And for us, like kids, like we're just excited for the chocolates because like
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get it.
Hershays,
Favorite ko yan. Saka yung Toblerone eh.
Toblerone.
Oh, there was a time when the Americans were there, and then it was a closed off area, right?
Yeah. It was very difficult to get in.
It was difficult to go
The
in
whole region of Subic?
No, just the naval base.
the naval base.
Yeah.
yeah.
because it's where they stay, so they have their own mall, shopping
No way.
supermarkets.
Their
We-
accommodation.
Yeah, we usually go there and buy.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're,
the stops for-
but you can go inside.
You can
Is
go
your
inside.
father,
And the thing
is
is,
your
like,
father?
American.
Gago.
Sorry.
No, and there's the rule inside the Subic before was the rule from America. So there's a certain speed.
Oh shit!
There's
yeah,
a police.
I remember.
Yeah, they if you overspeed, or if you
Yeah,
throw
I
anything in the
remember this
window,
time.
they will try to catch you, and then
Okay,
yeah.
here's the weird traffic rule that I didn't know, and I always get caught whenever I drive by Subic when we're going to like Tarlac or like
Yeah.
wherever north. They have this rule in the intersection: no lights, and then first stop, first go. What the?
Up until now.
so
Yeah,
Up until now.
I'm
First
sure,
stop,
I'm sure.
first go.
First stop,
Yeah.
first go. So here's how the rule is. So anyone approaching, anyone who stops first will be the next one to go.
Has the right of way.
Yeah, has the right of way.
So you have to
wherever.
check all sides who
Yeah,
went first.
the yellow box?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Inside the-
intersection.
okay.
So no traffic lights. It's like self-service.
Yeah.
Very American, huh?
Very American.
American.
Yeah. Together with the Hershays and the racist
Toblerone.
peanut butters.
Yeah.
Racist peanut butters, my favorite.
Oh,
Going back.
since we're talking about food, so when you're growing up, so there's more Filipino food compared to
In the house or-
Indian food.
Well, yeah, the mom is Filipino.
Or
so
you
I'm
mixed it
assuming.
up like adobo, curry.
Butter adobo. Adobo with paratha.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Actually, sounds like a good combination.
Pwede.
Pwede yun, ah. Yeah.
We should open up like an Indian Filipino
Yeah, fusion
kind of
restaurant.
restaurant.
For
yeah.
sure.
Exactly.
My mom did try. So growing up, but we had a lot of food at home all the time.
Yeah.
And it was always mixed because my dad would think Filipino food is a little bit bland. Because Filipinos, we can have like even for me, I can have a piece of fried chicken and rice, and that's it. That's
Yeah,
a good meal
Yeah.
for me.
That's Jollibee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's Jollibee. That's exactly Jollibee.
the-
And then Indians, they need a curry. They need
Yes.
like a side of
Side, yeah.
vegetables, and then some
Chutney.
pickle.
And
chutney.
very, very different taste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything is like it has an explosion in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
But my mom does know how to cook Indian food. Like just today, she's gonna cook chicken biryani for dinner. So if you guys want,
Okay, see you later.
Oh, baka naman.
Pa-biryani naman
Yeah.
sa
Sambayan.
but it is cool because we always had a very very diverse table setting. Like a lot of food was
Yeah.
presented to us whenever we had dinner or lunch, and my mom also tries to like mix it up in a way. Like the other day, she made sisig in a paratha roll.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's really
Sounds
interesting.
delicious as well.
Yeah.
So she does try to spice it up in her own way. But for me, I do love Filipino food more as well.
Yeah.
But I just feel that it does need a little bit more spice. Like my favorite food of all time would be like lugao, something very simple, or even like tinola or bulalo.
Simple
Like,
lang.
yeah, just some
Very simple,
good soup
really.
and rice. That's it.
Sabaw.
Sabaw. Yeah.
And I'm a rice eater as well. I can have rice breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And no one ever got that. You know, that's a Filipino diet which no one ever understands.
Yeah.
Not even
But it's
Filipino.
the same, right? Also, Indian does it.
Yeah, but like not. They have a different kind of rice as well.
The
But they-
basmati rice.
Yeah, basmati or even it's called a bota rice, which is like very fat rice. It's a little bit brown and has a line through
not
it
sure.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't
I've
tried
seen
that.
that.
Yeah, I have.
But like the regular basmati, and I noticed that it's
basmati rice, as Russell Peters said, basmati
Basmati.
rice. Yeah, basmati rice.
So I think it's a little bit lighter, right? It's fluffier.
Exactly.
Because like the Filipino rice is like really heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it only gets heavier as well. Like the malagkit, what do you call
Yeah.
this?
Malagkit.
yeah.
Yeah.
The suman.
The sum, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
So
There's a difference because Indians is like a long grain rice.
yes,
So it's once you digest it, you still feel okay. But Filipino rice, you feel
Yeah.
very tired.
yeah,
Yeah.
And doesn't like, I
That
don't
is
think it
true.
digests very well, but it does give you a bit of an energy boost as well.
That's why like when I also moved to Dubai, when I'm shocked with the serving size when you order like chicken biryani or something because it's like a huge plate for
Exactly.
one, which would cost you like 10 dirhams or something like that.
Yes, very cheap.
And you can finish it. And it feels like one cup of like Jollibee rice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm exaggerating, obviously, but like it's really light and it's easier.
It is
to,
very light, yeah.
Cool.
Rice connoisseurs.
Like you're watching an episode on rice.
Let's cut this shit. Sorry, I'm just being pretentious. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and it's great because my mom, like I said, can cook both cuisines.
She learned it during this.
Yeah, so she learned it while my.
How did she learn it?
Most of it was also from my grandma. So yeah, I have only one grandparent living up to now, but my mom would always be inspired by her cooking because it's like very, like most of it are like curries. So my mom knows how to cook curries like chicken curry, beef curry, or, and then she tries to maybe put into pork into it as well.
Yeah.
So like tries
Just to try.
Yeah, because Indians are not big fans of pork. Beef, especially for like the Hindus, they don't eat any beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
But Goans do, right?
yeah, Goans eat everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Eat everything.
Yeah.
They're big fans of pork and
Yeah.
alcohol as well.
Yeah.
Very good combination.
Wala dito niyan, wala dito.
Oh no.
Secret.
And what about
Goa. In Goa.
Goa? Yeah. What about desserts?
Desserts, my mom can cook, like asking if she can like bake desserts.
Yeah. Or like any favorite desserts from India or in Philippines, and like
Yeah, it's
Growing.
very different. Like the sweets in
totally,
India.
yeah. There's so many desserts in India.
Actually, Indians,
many.
Pretty good.
Indians, they add like saffron.
Yeah.
They add a lot
Premium
of saffron.
Cardamom,
Yeah,
saffron,
cardamom.
yeah, all these very
Pancit.
Pancit.
In the dessert. Yeah, they have like. Please explain. Please explain the pancit.
Wala, sa paluda.
Paluda.
yeah. There is
Paluda.
some
Paluda.
noodles.
Pancit.
in it.
I need to see this.
Their version of halo-halo, right? The that's
Yeah,
paluda,
paluda.
right?
Can you explain what this is?
What
I don't
is
know
pancit?
this.
You can.
Hindi ko
what is
alam.
it?
Nakita ko lang pancit eh.
Do you want to explain the faluda
It's
thing?
like I think it's an Indian version of a halo halo.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of things mixed into something. You can buy it anywhere here. Just stop by any cafeteria, honk, ask for a faluda, and they'll bring it out for
Yeah,
you.
you can put screws, nails, everything.
Some toilet paper, everything.
paper there.
But when you say halo halo, in my mind, it's like it's like a drink and food together. Right?
Shaved
So is it the
ice.
same?
Exactly.
Shaved
Like
ice?
a shake,
it's a-
kind of
it's
like
not
ice
that-
shaved.
Yeah, it is like you can have it as an ice cream as well, but it's
Yeah.
just like a mixture of a lot of things as well. So halo halo, you have what ube and gulaman.
Yeah.
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 Nata de
Like
coco.
beans.
Yeah, a lot of things. So
Alright.
it's like a blended stuff, and then you just have it as like
Okay.
an ice cream.
And you grew up with this Filipino desserts as well.
I grew up with both desserts, but I never had a sweet tooth growing up.
It's not your
So whenever it
thing.
was dessert time, I'm like, oh, okay, and I just leave the table.
Then you eat rice again.
Dessert is a second portion of
For us
rice.
Filipinos, di ba, we the desserts are rice as well.
Yeah.
Yung malagkit,
Yes.
Yeah.
Man,
Biko.
Biko, all of this
Saba
stuff.
and all that stuff.
But growing up here is more of like you get learn to be not lessen the rice eating, right?
Like rice eating?
Yeah, lessen
Yes.
it because you grow up like diverse and
No,
sometimes.
I still eat a lot of rice.
Really?
Yeah. Not so much now, but growing up, I was just obsessed with rice. I would have my merienda
The way you say it.
Yeah.
Obsessed with rice.
Obsessed with rice.
I absolutely love rice. I think it's because even Goans they do have
merienda?
even merienda everything. Pancit canton, rice, and some spam or something. Pre-dinner.
Very kabayan, ah. Very kabayan.
That's why I always identified more to my Filipino side because the mannerisms, my culture, everything is always identified to a Filipino. That of a Filipino.
It's interesting.
And you can fully understand all of us if we speak Tagalog.
I would like to think so. Yeah.
Let's try.
Dumudugo na ilong. Kaya na po. Nagsistruggle ako eh. Puyat ako eh.
wait,
Wala
you're
akong tulog eh.
Pinipigilan ko yung pagdugo ng ilong ko.
Naka-ready na nga yung tissue sa ilalim.
40 minutes naman.
Nakakalahati na tayo dito.
35 minutes na. Grabe.
But you do understand like whatever we're talking about right now.
Yeah, that banter that's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
I understood all
Oh, then it's okay. Then it's fine.
there's some words which I might not be able to understand. But if you want to,
Like yung mabibilis.
which is fast.
Ah, okay.
But my Tagalog really comes out when it's like an emergency situation.
Like what?
Katulad ng
Natatae ako. Manong! Ate, natatae ako. Bili!
Ito 5 pesos.
5 pesos! Oh my God! It's very good. Very good, very good. May 10 pesos na, Jebs ngayon, 5 pesos ang ihi.
Sa Pilipinas.
10 pesos na to.
Kwento mo yung sa metro.
Marami,
Yung
metro.
nagtagalog ka bigla kasi sa galit mo.
Oh, I can't even quote what I said at that point. But there was one day when I was working late in office till like it was a Thursday. I remember, and I left office around 9:30.
Yep.
And I take the metro going back home. So I was at the metro and I just wanted to go home. I'm really tired. I just wanted the day to end. And so I'm waiting for the metro to come in and the door's open and there's a small Filipino girl blocking the door.
Okay.
And I'm just like, okay, let me just go in. And she doesn't allow me to enter. She's like, sorry. I'm like, why? She's like, you're too big. And then I look at the back and there's so much space. She was just blocking the door.
no.
Yeah. She's like, you're too big. She said, you're too big. And I'm like, okay. Then what I did was, sad to say, but what I did was I turned around and I took a step back. So I pushed her with my back.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she yells, ay, bastos. And I'm like, oh no, I'm definitely going to be
Oh,
deported. But then there were this other group of Filipinos like, I know what happened. And she's like, dung mga tao ito. And she started talking Tagalog, and I was just hearing it,
Yeah.
and I didn't see anything. And then
And the train was full or it's
empty.
how come?
I don't understand what was her problem at that point. Yeah,
come on.
and I think I just did it because I just wanted to go home. And then she started telling everyone, this guy, he pushed me and everything, and then she kicked me.
She kicked you.
Fuck. Yeah.
Crazy.
And that's when I lost it. Then my full-on Tagalog came out. I can't even remember what I said, but I said, if you want to travel comfortably, take a taxi.
I know what you said. Natatae ako.
Ate, natatay ako.
Ate, natatae ako. Okay, what did you say?
Kailangan ko na umuwi.
Kailangan ko na umuwi. Tatay ako. What did you say?
I just said, I understand everything you're saying,
Yeah.
and if you want to travel comfortably, take a taxi.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So what was the reaction?
Oh, then she's like became really silent.
Ooh.
Because she didn't realize you were Filipino
Yeah, and it's
and
like,
she was
"Ay,
talking in
Filipino ka
Tagalog.
pala."
Yeah.
And then that's when everything like calmed down. Like she didn't say anything after that. I think
Probably she's being racist.
It's,
Yeah.
It's like,
That from what I'm hearing
because
from
there's
you.
no reason for her to do that other than
zero reason.
she
Yeah.
is racist.
Yeah.
You know, like Filipinos are one
Yeah.
of the most racist people.
Uy.
Well,
It's true.
Hindi ako yun,
It's true.
I will say yes to
We're
that.
generally people in the in the Philippines and here are like some people are ignorant
Yeah.
Or more
based-
judgmental.
and judgmental as well. You know, so
The culture
that's
is-
coming from very dark,
Yeah.
very dark place.
Bakit judgmental?
And we even judge ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're very strict with, I don't know,
Yeah.
particular quality.
judgmental sa looks.
Or something.
Yeah.
Looks,
American
just
accent.
looks.
If your accent is very
Yeah.
Tagalog.
Kasi
Yeah.
sa atin mismo
The P
kasi,
and the
right?
F. Yeah.
Tayo mismo.
Tayo yung
Beautiful.
Oo.
Beautiful, not beautiful.
Yeah. 5'6".
5'6".
F and P defect, no?
Which is sad. Kasi sometimes we get overly sensitive when other races judge us.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
then we
on
also
our
do
own.
that
We're
with...
so protective of ourselves and then we
Yeah.
don't-
But we don't do that to Westerners.
Yes, that is
We do
weird.
that to, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, we
True.
look really
Other
high
countries,
up
yeah.
to them in a way.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there are a lot,
The colonizers.
yeah.
Got
That's
dark
true,
real
that's true,
fans.
Yeah, I know.
No, anyway.
We still wearing
But
bahag.
yeah, like you're talking about these kinds of encounters. Like, have you been?
Yeah.
Have you heard about like a stereotype or
Have you
do
ever
know
been
any
stereotype?
words or any like I don't know
Assumptions.
assumptions
Yeah.
for
I think it's,
Indians or Filipinos or something like that?
a lot actually, because when I was growing up, a lot of people were first shocked. Oh, Indian Filipino, how did that happen? And the first question
Indian and Filipino.
yeah, and it's not that, like it's very common.
Yeah.
these
It's
days.
common.
It's very
Yes.
common.
Yes.
And the first question I always get: Are your parents still together?
Oh.
Yeah, so they think maybe it's like
Who's asking? Like from which nationality? Not from Filipino, right?
no, Indians, always Indians,
Indians.
always
Oh.
Indians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're very protective of marriage.
Exactly. They have a very different idea of marriage, and they always ask, or even other nationalities, like even other Asians or even the Westerners, they would like, oh, are your parents still together? How did they meet? Like they get really curious as
Yeah.
well. But in the UAE, it's so common now.
Yeah.
Like if you go out, you'd always see like a Filipino with an Indian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
as
have
well.
friends who
Yeah.
are married to Indian.
Yeah.
Even my
You know,
colleagues are
you know the word, the term pana, right?
Pana?
Pana.
No.
No.
No, come on, dude.
liar.
No. Dude.
Way.
Come on, dude. The only Indian guy who doesn't know.
Okay, let's stop everything.
No, doesn't mean anything.
Let's not tell him what it is.
Not the racist I think that we're being cancelled right now. We're being cancelled right now. So the term pana is
No,
used
it doesn't
by-
mean anything.
trying to hide the
Mute the mic.
There are Filipinos.
Why
use
are we
it.
talking about it? We're talking about cultural. Come on, man.
No, you should talk about
Yeah,
this.
we should talk about it.
The term pana is called to Indians.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we call
Or I would say
Indians.
Desis as a whole, like
Yeah.
Pakistanis as well. We call
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Any
Okay.
Desi.
You know why?
South Asian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
why?
because of the
poem.
Yeah.
What do you call that? The
Indian
rhyme,
The
the
rhyme.
nursery
Yeah,
rhyme,
nursery
Yeah.
rhyme.
which is like a
The Filipino nursery
Filipino
rhyme.
Very
Indian
racist.
Yeah.
Very racist.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the first time
Yeah.
I'm
But honestly,
hearing like this.
Indian pana.
Kakana-kana.
Yeah.
So pana is
Janine knows it as well.
finish it.
Finish.
It's Indian pan.
I'm sure she already said it to you.
Kakana-kana.
It's pana.
But that's
Okay,
like a
so,
children
a
kind of.
pana is
Yeah, an
It's bow
arrow.
and
Bow and
arrow.
arrow.
Okay.
So Indian pana, so an Indian bow and arrow, which
It's American Indian.
American
American
Indian,
Indian.
Yeah.
obviously from the
Native American.
Native
Yes.
American
Okay,
Indian.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
and then so people related that. So if the I guess the older OFWs coined that to hide the fact that they're talking about Indians. Because everyone knows that Indian pana.
Ala, ba't sinabi nyo?
And
Kakana-kana.
so,
Ang dahil nanonood, oh.
Dami nanonood.
everyone knows that.
Guys,
so,
please
million.
don't cancel us. It's our first year pa lang.
No, I think everyone knows that.
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
I only
Even-
learned that here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
here.
think
Yeah.
it's more OFW lang.
Yeah, I think it's
OFW.
more
I'm
of a
talking
Middle
about
Eastern thing.
I'm talking about the Indians have a clue now that that term pana is
yeah.
Deriving for them.
related
Hindi nga niya alam.
my colleagues know.
Yeah.
My-
Do
my-
they?
Yeah,
Do they?
of course. Like
Yeah.
when
And
you say the
even
word pana.
other nationalities, they know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
pana means.
Ano
Except
sabi nila?
Except
First time I've ever
So
heard
how do they accept it, or
How do they accept? So you're telling
how
something
do they
bad.
react?
So you're telling something bad.
You're talking about me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do they react like that?
I think
Okay.
yeah. I mean they know.
Bakit mo
that.
sinabi?
It's a secret, but
No, because
it's all in the
that's,
open.
it should be. We should be over and done with this
Bullshit.
thing.
Exactly.
we shouldn't be saying that anymore. Yeah.
Like,
I remember when I was younger, I think we were in high school. We were in an elevator and my friend started talking about the pana that was next to us. And she started saying,
Oh,
yung pana, blah, 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 blah. I won't say
Yeah.
what she said. And then
What did he
this other guy looked at us and he's like, are you talking about me? Because
what
he
were we talking
understood
about?
pana.
Oh.
Hey,
We were talking about him.
But what about him in a...
I won't say what we were talking about. I won't say what my friend was saying.
Can I say it?
It wasn't me.
You're allowed to say it. I want to
Yeah,
hear
we're gonna bleep it.
It's your friend. Okay.
My friend
Okay,
was
it's your
talking
friend.
about how, because it was a cramped elevator.
he had body odor?
Yes.
Oh.
And then my friend was like, ano ba yung pana na yan? You can whatever. And then he looked at us and asked us, are you talking about me?
Oh,
And
gosh.
then she was like, whoopsies. And I'm like, no.
But I feel
no.
you cannot do that anymore. Not
No, you can't.
you cannot
You can't, yeah.
assume that the other person doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's happened to me so many times. Like people will be talking Tagalog. I'm like, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
Yeah, so it's now like, and people know different languages these days.
Yes.
So you can never go in
Exactly.
code as much
Yeah.
as you want to.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Unless if it's
Unless you're
Becky.
binary, you're like 01000000100. Binary. Excuse me. Did that.
Excuse me, are you talking about me? I'm a fucking coder, man. Like, my dad's
Coder pala, no? Grabe. See, you have to be careful.
Yeah,
like,
the
yep.
basics
Yeah.
is just don't talk about people
Yeah, exactly.
behind their
Or do it
back.
on your phone. Like this WhatsApp. Janine doesn't know what she's talking about.
But question, dude, does like Indian people, like, do they have like a stereotype towards the Filipinos? Do you know anything about like something like that?
So many, especially at work. We have like all the Indians always look down on Filipinos for I don't know what reason. Like once I was with my colleague and we were driving and we saw a Porsche pass by us. I was speeding in a
Yeah.
Porsche 911 and it had a Philippine sticker on it.
Okay.
And then the guy's like, this guy must have stolen this car. And I was like, why? Like Filipinos are allowed to thrive as well as much as Indians. And I love seeing Filipinos who make a big name for themselves, especially here in the
Louis.
UAE.
Tito Luis.
Tito Luis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw your car outside. I love it. I love it.
told you.
I love it.
I told you, bro.
He's a car napper.
But that's true. The one that you're called. Yeah, it's true. Wait. Secret.
Announce it.
Mabubuko tayo.
But yeah, they have that stereotype like that, like Filipinos like should just work at McDonald's or all in the service
Yeah.
industry,
Yeah.
and I really don't like
Yeah,
that as well.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't say that about Indians because both of them do have a similar thing when it comes to both are doing really well in the service industry.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
both-
And
yeah.
to tell everyone in our audience, no, the Indians are the most largest foreign population in the UAE,
In the
Right.
US.
and the third or fourth
Third or fourth, the film.
Filipinos.
Yes.
So like, ayun, makikita mo na we are really hardworking foreign workers. So yeah,
UAE was built because of Filipinos
yes,
and Indians.
That's
yeah,
true.
I truly
that's
believe
true.
that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe with the money of the UAE, but
Yeah.
all the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears was all done from the Indians and the Filipinos, and maybe the other nationalities like the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis,
Yes, exactly.
as well. So I don't like it when we are like a sort of minority in the UAE.
Yeah.
I think if that's the right word, but I don't like it when they attack each other. I don't like when Filipinos.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like for me, and at least in my observation, like we have this weird thing against each other because I think we're a lot more similar than we think we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
And especially the structure of the family. There are like
Yes.
specific differences.
Yeah.
Obviously, like arranged marriages are not
Yeah.
being done in the Philippines, but how tight knit the family is, and the respect that the elders like demand from the younger. Obviously, now it's like a little bit more liberal with the new generation.
Yeah.
But we're very, very
There are more
similar.
similarities.
So many, yeah.
Actually.
Yes, the language, like 30% of our language, the Filipino, Tagalog, is derived from Sanskrit, from Indian culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Sanskrit.
research.
Yeah.
Yes, from Wikipedia, bro. Wikipedia. Wait lang. Just to clarify. Yeah, and double check. Yes, it's 30%, guys. So like that's
Saka yung yung numbers dito galing din sa India.
yeah, like
Nag-start din galing din sa parang nag-form to
I mean yung modern numbers that we.
oh,
But
yung,
we have
yung,
Arabic,
yung Arabic numbers.
Arabic
numbers, yeah. Oh.
yeah.
Saka in yung beginning ng UAE, ang gamit na lang rupee, right?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
I remember.
Rupees, yeah.
Rupees. Yeah. The UAE, yeah.
So before like 70s, 60s ba?
50s.
50s, they were using rupees as the denomination for
Ang sinabi na mga 20 countries
Currency.
nung time na yon, rupees ang ginagamit ng 20 ng may version sila ng Gulf rupees, parang ganun.
talaga. That's so interesting.
Yeah. Then move to the dirham.
See, like Indians are all over the Middle East
Yeah.
and and
Everywhere around the world.
Yeah.
They say Indians are everywhere. Like if you would walk and you'd see like a gutter or a sewer, if you open it, you'll see an Indian.
Grabe. Dude, is that your joke or like?
I've heard it.
I've heard about this Russell Peters joke. Like, there's the Indians are like the first to arrive the country, right? And they will call the Filipino friend like, there's an opening here. And come here, come here. It's already
Come over.
open. So it's like that's the side by side. What do you call
Yeah, they're always
it?
trying to
Tag team,
compete with
right?
each other,
Filipino,
yeah.
Indians. And
That's true, because if Indians are everywhere, Filipinos are everywhere.
yes, exactly.
Everywhere. And I get so excited because India not so much, but I get so excited when I see a Filipino like in a different country. Like
Yeah.
if I'm in
Me
Europe,
too.
when I was in Rome and I saw a Filipino, I'm like, hi.
Kabayan!
Hello po.
And then the kabayan would look at you like, excuse me?
Yeah.
You don't even look like a kabayan.
Buongiorno. Know your roots.
Do you celebrate any kind of events like celebrations from India or in the
Holidays.
Philippines?
Yeah, usually.
No, because my dad was Catholic. So we never had those Hindu
Oh,
traditions.
so similar, pares lang.
Yeah. So so that's the thing. Like, even if I could, like a big part of the Indian tradition is the Hindu religion, where they have
Yeah.
Yeah.
different celebrations, different.
Holy.
Yeah.
Ngayon yung Onam,
Kanpati,
right now.
Onam.
Yeah, right
Onam.
now.
Yeah.
So we never. The only way I celebrated would be at work. Like we would all dress up in our kurta, which is the national dress for the males.
Yeah, yeah.
And like so that was like my only full-on exposure to the Indian culture, especially when I started working, because our work has a lot of Indians. So only when I was like interacting with them, that's when I knew more about the Indian culture, like how they would celebrate certain events, how they would go fasting for certain events.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I got all my most of my knowledge. I
So
would say
what
about India.
what was the reaction from them? Like knowing that you are not inclined to Indian culture, like.
Or not like
How do
you
they
don't know
react?
this or you don't
Yeah,
celebrate
why?
this
Why
at
do
all?
you-
Like, or aren't they surprised? They're not surprised because you grew up in Dubai. Like, is that a
Yeah.
normal thing for?
So first of all, they what I said, because of what they said, that's when I started thinking about it. So that's when I said I was very soft as a person. Like I would run away if I see a cockroach. I'm not very good with my hands if I had to. But these guys like grew up in different countries, so that's when they were exposed to more a different kind of lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
And especially when they found out I couldn't speak Hindi, and that's another thing. But like in office, we're supposed to first of all go with our business language, which is English.
Yeah.
Most of them would digress from it and speak in Hindi or their own dialect.
Yeah.
And for them, for me not knowing Hindi was weird. But I'm like, no, we work in an office environment. We should be
Yeah.
able to speak English as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think about it, and everyone does consider me more of a Filipino than and.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like Josh, come, let's go to McDonald's and let's get your staff discount.
Oh my god. But did you get the McDonald's stuff discount?
When I was working in a mall once, I did get it. But
You didn't get.
But seriously, dude, like
Yeah.
one of my first months here, like
Yeah.
they really asked me like,
Yeah,
Stop the-
stop the discount.
stop. Like,
Twice happened to me, dude.
no, but they're super like, okay lang, bro. Okay lang. We'll give you the stop. Isa stop. High five.
May face bump, bro. Face bump tayo dyan. Salamat sa 5 discount. 5 grams discount rin yun, bro.
Connection ng kabayan.
Yes, that's the perk, yo. That's the perk.
Did you question again?
go for it.
Does it vary? Like does it vary? Like if someone asks you from a different nationality and they ask you about where you're from, like what I'm
Yeah,
trying-
what do you prefer?
Yeah, like, does it
Are you
vary?
What do I say?
Yeah, what do you say? For example, if a Filipino asks you where you're from, or an Indian asks you, or another nationality asks you, does it varies your
Or you
your
don't
answers?
you don't need to choose.
It does. So I have a standard answer, so especially at work when I have an Indian and Filipino customer. When a
Yeah.
Filipino calls, they would ask kabayan, and I would be like, no. I say no
Okay.
because Filipinos. Whenever I say yes, that's when they ask me to do so much for them, and I'm the only Filipino in my department.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
would call and they would like ask me to do a million things, and I have a lot of Filipino customers, and they would only call me at the beginning. So
Yeah.
it did get overwhelming because they would only want to speak to me knowing that they are Filipino as well.
Yeah.
And Indians as well. When they ask me like, "Are you Indian? Can I speak in Hindi or something?" Then I'm like, "Oh no, sorry, I'm Filipino."
My God.
No, what about
Works to
in
your
outside in real life?
advantage.
Like,
In real life, I always tell people I'm half Indian, half Filipino. Yeah.
wow.
Okay.
I don't identify as me being from Dubai as well because when I go to different countries and with my friends and people ask, "Oh, where are
Yeah.
you from?" And they would say, "Oh, I'm from Dubai. I'm from Dubai." But I'm not from Dubai. I
That's
just
so
live in
strange.
Dubai.
That's a strange answer, no, from so many people,
So many people
who
we've met and interact.
who grew up here, growing up half something and half something, you know.
Yeah.
And they can
It's
never
very-
really say I'm from Dubai
Yes,
or
Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
Dubai.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
can really say
Yeah.
that.
Except for locals, I guess.
only
So,
for
Maybe,
locals.
yeah.
Or if you
maybe.
acquired a passport in some way, like if you're in the football team of the UAE, then
Yeah.
I think that's the only way.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
From jiu-jitsu.
It's
Yeah.
like for me, like personally, it's very interesting to meet people who grew up in Dubai because it's you just cannot expect their stories. Like it's always a different story.
Yeah, that's true.
With every person, like especially mixed people, like
Especially.
half and half of something.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That's why you're here, guys. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Third culture kids.
Yeah.
Culture
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
perfect term.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in when you're in school or in university, you have more friends Filipino or Indian?
So in high school, most of my friends were Filipino, and
Nag-English sila, nagtatagalog.
they were all English, all speaking English. Yeah, because I didn't go to a Filipino school. I went to St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, yeah. So I had most of them were Filipino friends, and also half of them were like half Filipino and half something else as well. So I knew a guy who was Filipino Pakistani. So we used to like all get along, but then when I started going to college, most of my friends were Indian, but they were not Indian. They were like Dubai
Indians.
kids. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Indian.
Okay, yeah.
It's different.
So they're concerned about like their cars
Yeah.
and like they wanted to smoke and everything, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it actually grew along the way, and then I that's the thing I feel I'm not racist because I have hung out with a lot of people
Yeah.
growing up.
Mm.
Yeah.
But obviously I do have my stereotypes about people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're Filipino.
What do you-
I'm
Yeah.
Filipino.
What did that? So, besides that one, like you can what do you call it? Negate the people who's asking you for favors, right?
Mhm.
What are the advantages of being half Indian, half Filipino? What do you
At
think?
work, at work.
At work or anywhere?
Anywhere.
At work I think it's mostly like a diversity thing, like when they feel okay, we have a Filipino in our team and we have an Indian in our team as well. So
And
because
we're just two in the company.
And I actually have this joke which I'm writing, and it talks about like when I do go for an interview when they find out I'm actually half Indian, half Filipino.
Yeah.
Then the HR manager will be like really confused. He won't know if to pay me a low Filipino salary or a low Indian salary.
Exactly, dude.
That's true, right? That's true.
True. Oh my god. That's good. That's a good one.
So it's like that.
I get- Again, it's at Joshua.
Since you're half, so who would you say more racist? I mean, just
Filipino.
being friendly. I mean,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I would say Filipinos are
Yes,
more racist.
I
to
think
me.
so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Me
so.
too. I agree with that. I agree with that.
sadly.
All the Filipinos are,
Yeah,
Yes, we
yeah.
are.
yeah.
Because we are ignorant about like different races. We're so what do you call it? Concentrated on what is happening in the Philippines,
Yeah.
and we don't know about like Black Lives Matter. You know,
Exactly.
we just know this like recently,
Yeah.
That's true.
and we just throw around like words that is like offending for some other people, for some other races as well. We don't care about it, but now.
It's
Hopefully,
It's
hopefully.
accepted
changing now.
in Pinas back then. We would just call people, whatever they look like.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, growing up
Yeah.
in Dubai, I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully now they
Yeah.
start learning that it's not okay. to
with the help
calling
of
people
the
names.
internet.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Facebook.
we have a lot more OFWs
And bashers.
who get to
Bashers.
travel.
That's true.
Thank you, bashers.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. By the way, we're going to do a cancel culture episode. Let's see.
Yep.
Let's see about that.
That's gonna be our last episode.
Yeah, last episode because
Until we get canceled.
we are going to do
Cancel
that
ourselves.
because we are being canceled already.
Cancel ourselves.
So yeah.
No, but one thing I've also noticed, because I've been to Philippines a lot. I go to Philippines almost twice a year, and I realized that the Filipinos who come here to the UAE or different other countries, they become more woke in a way, and then they forget about their roots.
Yeah.
Especially in the like my metro story. Like I've been on an MRT in Manila,
Yeah.
and that's jam packed. Like even if I wanted to go in, like
Yeah.
people would help me come in.
Yeah.
But here, like when the Filipinos see someone trying to come in, they would be like, "Oh, wait, stop! There
She'll
won't
not
be
let
any-"
you.
Yeah.
So like they feel like they're more entitled.
Yeah.
They feel like they're more entitled when they come to UAE because they're not accustomed to this.
Grabe
I think
naman,
it's
entitled.
psychological because it's like you feel like when you are in a different place, you feel the divide of different races.
Exactly.
So I think people should be aware of like what is happening to other races and
Exactly.
some other group of people, you know. So I think it should be it should develop.
For me, moving to Dubai, I kind of like felt the transition from like having the Philippines or Manila mindset with meeting you guys because you're
Racist
the-
naman.
Siya lang yun.
Mark Ganson, Mark.
Tito Mar.
Burst part at burst part. Wala ka dito eh, sorry ka.
Titignan niya daw eh. Wala.
Tignan mo pa.
No, I'm talking about meeting people who've been in Dubai for quite some time. There's a difference in how they, I would say, remember Manila, and like sometimes they complain more than like remember good things about the Philippines. And then I transitioned from like hearing that into doing that as well.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to compare
Right,
most of the
right.
time. And then, but the good thing is when we talk, someone would check someone like, dude, that's not cool. Like, Manila is this, and that. And there are other factors. There are so many factors. And so it's just a natural thing that you experience a better lifestyle, and then you
More demanding.
Yeah. You compare it to how
Yeah.
it used to be when you were in the
yeah you would always you would say we should have these like kinds of like buses and
yeah.
like public transport in the Philippines. It's gonna be a lot better,
But
but
I know-
it's not that easy. Like
Yes.
obviously
But
the
I
big
feel like it's
transition.
also in a way positive because you're getting standards. Because before when
Very
you're
true.
just in Manila and that's how it is.
Yeah.
That's what
You're
you
used to it.
woke up
Yeah.
Yeah.
with, right? So parang you don't really complain anymore.
Yeah.
So now that you feel, it can be done elsewhere, so why can't we do it in our country? So you start to have some
That's true.
standards. But then,
Yeah.
of course, you need to have that balance and
Yeah.
all the time
Level
complain.
yourself.
yeah, but I think the bad result of that sometimes for other people are like you tend to look down upon
On your own.
your
Yeah,
own
that's the
home
sad
country
part.
because like
Yeah.
oh man, I can't just go
Yeah.
home. Like something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand 2
Yeah.
weeks in the Philippines or
Malamok.
in Manila.
Yeah.
Malamok.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Cattle.
Madaming langaw.
Maingay yung AC.
Sa Dubai, hindi ganito
Centralized
eh.
kami. Window AC.
But I would say, Joshua, you love Manila.
I
You
love
always
Manila.
talk about going back home to Manila.
And that's the thing. I always
With all the grittiness of it, or like,
yeah. So I think it'll help me develop as a person even better. And I always tell people so my goal this year was actually to move to Philippines, not back, but move to Philippines and start something on my own over there. But then unfortunately this whole COVID situation happened. But every time I tell a Filipino that I want to go back to Manila, they would say, the Filipinos are trying to get out of the Philippines and you're like the only one who wants to go back.
yeah.
But I think it's just helpful for me personally because of like character development. Try to be alone on my own because growing up I lived with my parents. I was sheltered. If I needed something, like my mom or dad would be able to give it to me. But now when I'm living on my own, I have to do my own laundry, fend for myself, pay my own bills, and I think
Yeah.
it's something which I have to do as a male at least
Yeah.
to be just to be able to manage myself in a better way.
Yeah.
Because how will I be able to take care of anyone if I'm not able to take care of myself when it comes to stuff like that?
That's true.
But then having said that, there's also like going back to what we were talking about a while ago. I also know Filipino parents who don't want to teach their children Tagalog. And I don't know if you've come across any other people like that as well, but
Right.
Itago na natin sa pangalan. News.
No, actually what happened was,
Wala paliwanag. Patay mo yung mic niya.
no.
Switch off.
Can you continue like what do you mean, like what did you
so I'm not gonna mention any names, but I know a couple who has kids.
they're here.
They're all in Dubai, yeah. And they've like shut out Filipino completely from their culture. They don't want their kids to learn Tagalog at all. Okay, if I would have understood, I would have understood if they were mixed as well, like the husband's from a different place and the wife is from a different place, but they were both Filipino.
Yeah.
So I found it very like weird in a way that they would not educate their children.
Do you ever
about-
ask why?
No, I don't think it was my place, but but I just felt it was okay. Maybe teach them a little bit so that they're able to go back.
No, actually, the plain reason for that is like in everyone who grew up in the Philippines, right? Oh, let's teach our kids speak English because they will have a brighter future. So this idea they brought it here, and
Makes sense,
and
okay.
and this idea was also with me when I was here when I came here, and I never had an idea about. I mean, don't have any. I'm like in a square.
Manual.
When I had a child, so I teach him to speak English.
Okay.
Because I didn't know that you can learn English in school easily.
Yeah.
Then it was
Especially if you grew up here.
then it was too late for me. It's like, oh shit, I should have taught him Tagalog rather than English.
Okay.
It was a mistake. I mean, I didn't, hopefully my son will learn somehow someday.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too late to learn as
Of course,
well.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like Janine always told me that it's a trifecta if I could speak Hindi,
Yeah.
Tagalog, and English. And there's lots of resources online as well if you want to learn a different language, like Duolingo, or you can
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
go for classes as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Huwag ka ng rapid tools po. Gagaling.
Mga telenovela.
Mga put.
So
Iba yung
you are more inclined to a Filipino culture, so you know a lot of Filipino stories and news and more updated rather than in India, or
So I think it's just my personality that's more Filipino, but like what's going on over there, what's like the political situation, I wouldn't be able to.
or anything teleserie or anything.
You ever watch?
So my cousin actually works. She did work at GMA.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was. We were all
Is
like.
that Mike Enriquez or
Who's Mike?
Your cousin.
Who's your cousin?
can't do the joke?
Ding-dong dad.
Not allowed.
No, she was a talent manager. So
Okay.
in our house, we would constantly have GMA on, like Mulawin and
Okay.
Bubble Gang and everything.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was. I love the Bubble Gang as well. I love the
Yeah.
gags.
Yeah.
It's very simple, just one room and different scenarios
Yeah.
played in. And it was like,
Yeah.
this is really funny. Shout out to Michael V as well.
Bitoy.
Bitoy.
And about the Indian part, did you had the musical part of it?
Yeah, the Bollywood.
You know, that's what
Bollywood.
everyone thinks. Okay, Filipinos when they see a mic karaoke,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you should be on the other side of the coin. And Indians are the exact same way. They love singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of similarities.
that's,
between both cultures, and both of them are obsessed with being white for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, whitening products
Philippines,
and
if you go,
stuff.
whitening is there. Then
Colonization.
so they want to go back into So even India's they have that mentality that the white are the dominant people. So that's why we have products like Fair and Lovely. If you've seen it, or
Yeah.
Fair and
Actually, you can see it in the Hollywood, Bollywood films and
Yeah.
Yeah,
TV
the
shows.
actors
It's like
and
all of them are like
actresses
fair skin,
very fair,
Yeah.
hairless as well.
hairless.
Yeah, all
The standards.
Mestizo looking.
Yeah.
Very white. Something like the same thing in the Philippines as well. Like our heroes are
It's part of the colonial
Yeah,
exactly.
mentality.
yeah, that's very true. Even Filipinos look up to the Koreans a lot.
Yeah.
And
Now it's the Koreans.
Yeah, now it's yeah. So
Yeah.
from a
Obsession.
Western obsession to like a Korean K-pop kind of
Koreans,
sensation.
they have a good marketing anyways for Korea.
Actually.
Good marketing.
Completely
Yeah.
sold.
It's a very different story for them.
Yeah. It's a topic for another
Yeah.
day.
Mm.
It's very popular.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your comedy
Okay.
act.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Let's maybe you can give sample.
Knock knock. Do you have a knock knock? Do you have something like that?
Okay,
In
you have a knock.
like India, like
Yeah.
are there like knock knock jokes like a typical jokes in India? Because for us it's like there's like
The
knock
basic.
knock knock jokes and stuff.
Yeah. Filipinos have knock.
We also have like our own knock knock jokes. But a lot of jokes do play on a different part of like the different cultures as well. So there's this joke if I can remember it correctly. There's a guy on the beach and I don't know how to end this joke, but I'll just explain it to you. But it's like it's a guy on the beach and one guy comes up to me like, "Are you relaxing?" And then the guy who's like actually like lying down is like, "No, I'm like Akbar Singh." So it's like Singh is like a last name, yeah. So that's how such stupid jokes as well.
Is comedy big in India?
Oh, very big,
Okay.
very very big.
Because in the Philippines, it's a little bit different. No, when we talk about stand-up comedy, it's more of the gay
gag shows.
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
The drag.
Yeah.
The drag comedy.
They have that here as well, and I think Kita Kids they have like a comedy day
Kita
or that
Kids.
Makati comedy bar, but it's not like stand-up comedy. It's like gays dressing up as well and performing like mocking people as
Yes,
well. As
Yeah.
So I did stand-up comedy in Philippines as well.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I went to an
Oh,
open
that's
mic, and it was a lot of fun. Like the organizers were all telling me like how different comedy is in the Philippines. Like you can only attribute it to maybe like Jokoy or what's the other names? I forgot there are a lot of there are like 3 or 4 other famous stand-up comedians in Philippines. But then everyone, whenever they think of comedy in Philippines, they always think of it as the
Vice
Drag
ganda.
comedy.
the drag
Yeah,
comedy,
the vice
the
ganda.
cross-dressers on stage and everything.
I think because of Jokoy now, it's the Manila comedy
Yeah.
is like really growing.
Yeah, it's
Like
there's a
Alex
big interest now.
Yeah, like Alex Calleja.
Yeah.
Alex
Yeah,
Calleja,
exactly.
who've been a writer for so long for so many gag shows and like
Yeah.
TV shows. Now he's doing his materials as a stand-up now.
Okay.
Right.
Because before you can only write for like comedy,
Yeah.
like bubble gang,
Sketches and
sketch,
gags and
yeah.
stuff.
Because
Okay.
there's no like
Platform
crowd
it,
for that, But now because of Netflix, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joko.
Thank you, Joko.
How did your act went? How did your act went in the Philippines when you were there?
It was really good. I opened up with this.
And you were in English.
I was in English, but I was not the only English guy, so that was good. Yeah,
okay.
there was another person on the lineup as well who did everything in English. But I surprisingly I understood all the Filipino jokes and they were so funny, very funny. But I opened up with like a typical way. My whole set is gonna be in English, so get the tissue in case your nose bleeds.
Exactly.
And then
Patok na patok.
exactly. And I incorporated Philippines into my jokes. So like I mentioned like Divisoria, Green Hills, all that kind of stuff, the traffic. So it was relatable for them in a way. Yeah, but I really liked doing stand-up in Philippines as well. And I think that's a very big platform.
But have you tried doing it in India?
No, I've
Nope.
never done.
Not yet.
In India. Because only after I started doing comedy, that's when I've been to Philippines more. I haven't gone to India since I started doing comedy.
And what do you feel like if you're gonna go and do comedy
you
there?
want to. I think that's a good thing that
Yeah.
you've tried the Philippines, maybe, and then you can tune up your jokes
Exactly, for
to
India.
that and to whichever
For a different
area.
audience, yeah.
You just do
Maybe, but Indians are very funny though, especially when they have to write down material. I think they're very cunning. They know how to steer the joke in a way and stuff, which I don't think I have yet. Because I've seen a lot of good Indian comedians here in the UAE as well.
Yeah.
And but I would love to try going to India and doing comedy as well.
That's nice.
And what's the future for your comedy act?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I don't see myself like selling out stadiums or performing for like a crowd of like 1,000 people.
Then what's the goal then?
I just want to make people laugh. That's it. Like even if because my humor is very dark. Like
Yeah, which
For example?
which I love, dude. When I first saw Joshua on stage, I was like,
Can we have a
I love this guy.
sample?
I love this guy. It's really good.
Can we have a
It's really
sample like?
Can we have a sample?
good. Well, for people who's like based in Dubai, you should see Joshua on stage. It's really good.
Yeah.
He's really
you.
good.
When's the next show?
the soonest
my soonest show will be on the 11th.
Of September?
September 11th.
Okay, we'll
September
be there.
11. Wow.
Where?
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
September 11.
Now he's nervous.
That's the reason it's dark.
Another reason for you to be cancelled. Okay.
I didn't think of that. Yes.
And where is this gonna be?
It's gonna be at Comedy Kicks in Kicker Sports Bar in Sports City.
It's for free.
No, they changed it actually. Before it was actually free, but now they're doing like you pay 50 dirhams, but it's consumable to
I see.
beverages or.
All right.
Yeah, but we'll be there, right?
It's reasonable.
Let's go.
Yeah, just wait for Ima to maybe post it because you have to reserve it because they're now capping it at 40 people only.
Oh, really?
Wow.
because of the social distancing.
Yeah,
obviously.
okay.
And so,
That's good.
but I can't wait to go back on stage. It's gonna be the official first time I'm gonna go back on stage.
Alright.
I did online shows, but I didn't really enjoy the setup of it because you cannot hear the laughs and
Yeah.
The reaction of
Yeah,
the
so-
people.
Like the one that you do in Zoom or something like
yeah,
that?
on the Zoom. Yeah,
Ah,
on the
okay.
Zoom. But the way that
And there will be delayed, right? Reaction.
yeah, and I just like I'm lagging.
Like freeze.
Yeah.
Hi,
dude.
my name is, and I'm from.
Yeah. And the laugh is going to be delayed as well.
Yeah.
But I just type it out.
I know.
Yeah, but that's how I feel.
Tell us more about your new show.
Yes, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Yes, Janine.
You can do this. You can.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, we started Have a Nice Day a couple of weeks ago
Bakit?
because we were encouraged.
Yes.
Uy,
Tito Epi
ganun.
as
Very
well.
proud of
Wow.
it. Grabe.
Separately, we've always wanted to start a podcast, and then
Oh, narinig ko
Yeah.
yan eh.
and then
Yeah.
we met, and then we started talking about Hellomamsir show. I told him that I'm part of this crew,
Mm.
and then he told me as well that he wanted to start his own podcast. So we're like, you know what? Let's try. We started thinking about names. We put out a poll for that, and then we're like, you know what? We have a story to tell because we're both half. We're both middle children, both in the middle. We both have the same, style of how we present ourselves as well. I guess I'm
Our
very
demeanors.
yeah. Yeah. So we just talk about our lives, our parents, how they met,
Yeah.
everything and anything.
Yun yung
under the sun.
second episode. First episode.
First
First episode.
episode,
First episode.
yeah.
About parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the second was about our fears. And then we also have a couple of people sending in their questions na.
Uy.
So we want to talk about that in the next few episodes. Like,
Pwede bang mag-send in ng mga...
yes. So this first question sender, he sent us a voice, like a voice note.
Oh,
voice
wow.
note,
Yeah.
Sweet.
So he tells us all about his dating life with the Filipina, and then
He's an
asking-
Indian who wants. I think he's asking are curious to know what is it like dating a Filipina
Yeah.
as well. So we're gonna try to answer that. I
Yeah.
think.
Ah, that's
Oh, listen to
So
it.
that's how we want it to go.
Yeah.
So not just talking about ourselves, but talking about people sending in their questions,
Yeah.
asking about
Yeah.
advice. Although we're not really qualified to,
You're qualified.
but we'll try. We'll try. And there's always like a comedic spin to it naturally because
Yeah.
Josh is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, very
You guys are
Yeah.
funny. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But it was I really loved that the fact that we started, because even for me I like during this age when everyone wants to be a podcaster as well, and everyone has a different edge.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like you guys are like Filipinos based in the Middle East, so that's your edge. And then we were always thinking, what is our edge? But then it's like the fact that we're both mixed.
Yeah.
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 We can relate to both nationalities, both cultures as well.
Yeah.
And it is a golden age of podcasting. But
Yeah.
I wanted to start my podcast like almost 2 years ago when no one
Yeah.
was actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
listening into it. And but then I think this was the final push that we had, especially when I saw you guys record the last episode,
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
cultural
Ah, yeah,
exchange.
yeah.
Yeah.
That sparked something in me. I'm like, we have to do this.
Mm.
Inspired.
Yeah, you guys really
Bullshit.
did inspire me.
We call.
But do you have a plan? Like you're gonna in the future you're gonna stream your podcast or something in Facebook or?
I think we had a discussion. Yeah, from
Yeah.
10 onwards, we want to try to make it a video podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
So for now,
Do
it's
it.
just like a normal podcast, but then hopefully episode 10
Yeah.
we try to go
We're
forward
still
and put
learning
out
a
a
lot,
video.
though.
Yeah. Technically wise, we're not the best. Very simple setup, but I think we're getting
Very
there.
basic setup.
Yeah,
but I
USB mics.
Yeah.
And we're still learning a lot because we do cut each other a lot. We do say the word or filler words as well.
Yeah.
So
Which is our half of the.
It's our signature move.
yes. Yes. It's half of the show actually.
And we have to talk a lot because it's just the two of us. Like
Yeah.
now we're a lot, so we can
Yeah.
fill in if
Yeah.
there's a dead air.
Yeah.
But then if it's just the two of you, we're like, this is
Torture.
awkward. Yeah.
and there's no
point at
video,
each
so we
other.
do hand signs to each other. Okay, let's cut it. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice. So it's a lot of fun though. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun, and the feedback we've been getting is very encouraging.
Nice.
That's
So
great.
I think it's something
Mostly from our moms or friends.
Same.
No, my mom wants me to stop.
But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for,
Yeah,
for
but
having us. And
Can
the
you please
support.
Invite them.
invite the show, the audience pala. Sorry.
Hello, everyone. So
Yeah.
listen to Have a Nice Day podcast at Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google
Or-
Podcast.
Or wherever you
Or
stream your
wherever.
podcast from.
Yes.
Follow us on our Instagram at Have a Nice Day Show. And send us an email if you have any questions, comments to Have a Nice Day
How do you sing it?
Podcast. No, I'm not gonna sing it.
Sing it.
Sing it. I heard it.
I think it's a signature now every
No,
time.
seriously, it is a signature.
Yeah. Go. Have a nice
Oh my god, embarrassed guy. Okay, so yeah, no, we're good. Do you have any last words
The last
for the
words.
audience or for our listeners?
No, I just want to end with saying thank you to everyone. Like what I said a while ago, I was really inspired after watching you guys
Yeah.
during your last show, and me sitting from the back looking in. It really did trigger me. Like I told Janine on our drive back, like this is amazing. This is a wonderful crew. I hope we can start our podcast and hopefully collaborate with you guys in the future. And that's what we did today.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Hopefully this
Thank
isn't the
you.
last one that you're going to be here on the show. So yeah.
Should, you're always welcome in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And when we heard about your new podcast, we're super excited.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll always be here. Just
Supportive.
sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what's good about it because when you look at it, we all do podcasting, but we don't look at it as they're competing with us or this is
no.
another
No, no.
podcast.
Oh, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't
Get me wrong. We're gonna destroy you guys.
We got this.
So yeah, no. So yeah. Okay, so should we end this?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening to the Hellomamsir show. Maraming salamat po. This is the cultural exchange. So it's going to be a recurring episode
Yeah.
Yeah.
for different guests that we can invite on the show. So maraming salamat sa pakikinig.
Makinig sila sa
Makinig po kayo sa this episode and this video. Episodes are available on Facebook and youtube.com/Hellomamsir Show, facebook.com/Hellomamsir Show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever you stream your podcast.
Yeah, if you have any questions or reactions, comments, kung meron kayong gusto sabihin sa kanila, sinabi na nila kung taga saan yung podcast nila. Have a nice day. Comment lang kayo. Meron din kaming email, hellomamsirshow@gmail.com.
Kung gusto niyo kaming i-cancel, pwede din. So, send nyo na lang sa amin.
Ayan, maraming salamat. Ako po ang yung paboritong Tito Epic.
Tita Luis.
Tita Jaja.
Tita Tin.
And
Uncle Josh.
Uncle,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.